Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and today we are doing episode 17 of Making College PDFs Accessible. Episode 17 is going to cover Cerro Coso College. This college is from the Eastern Sierra region of Southern California and is part of the Kern Community College District. It was established in 1973, and there are about 5,000 students that go there based on the information that I can find. But before we jump into our process, take a second to hit that subscribe button. Now let's jump right in. Let's see if we can find a document to work on. Let's select the search button, and we're just gonna do PDF, just like I always do. And PDF download test, that's interesting. Let's click it. Clearly this is a test. Let's find something else that's maybe a little more accurate. Again, the academic calendar always shows up. We got equity plans. Ooh, let's do an equity plan. That could be fun. Let's see, we've got student equity plan 2022 through 2025. And then the update. Let's see, we've got PDF and PowerPoint. Snap. Ooh, this one could be fun. It's gonna be tricky though at the same time. But why not? Let's download both files. I'm first going to download the PDF, and then let's actually download the PowerPoint also, and we will review both. Why not? All right, step one, let's review the tags panel. And in here, I have a bunch of section tags. Clearly, this was just generated from that PowerPoint file. We have figure tags, lots of art tags. Whenever you see lots of section tags and art tags like this, chances are that it was converted from Microsoft. So this is pretty clear to see that. So with that said, this is highly inaccessible, but here's the good news. We have the PowerPoint file. So I guess we're just gonna work in that instead. This is a little different than my normal episode, but here we are. Let's launch the PowerPoint file instead. And I guess you guys are in for a double whammy today. All right, so we have, oh goodness, this PowerPoint, it's already gonna be tricky. So with PowerPoint accessibility, there's quite a few things to consider. First and foremost, you wanna use a slide design theme. This will keep all of your content accessible and readable and usable, but I have a feeling that this presentation was not developed that way. And here is a low-level test to determine that. If I select my view button, and then I choose outline view, the expectation is that I can see all of the content in my PowerPoint in outline view. All right, and we've got Cerro Coso equity plan, and then we've got equity planning a brief history with all of these text boxes in here, which are going to be inaccessible to a screen reader. We then have slide 3, this one's good. Slide 4, not so good. Slide 5 is missing a title. We've got slide 6, 7, none of this content is in a content box. 8 does not have a title, and we have an image of a table, which is usually like a big no-no. That's not something you tend to want to have. Slide 11 does not have any information here. Let's just check the alt text. We're gonna right-click the image, select view alt text, and we got nada. So this bad boy's got quite the issues. 23, 22, these are just literal screenshots that are slapped in here. What do we want? What do I want? Let's just dive in. I think that's the best course of action. All right, first things first, we've got Cerro Coso equity plan. That's fine. And then immediately we have the slide 2. So the only possible way that we can maybe make this work from an accessible standpoint from within PowerPoint is we have to set up a slide design theme. So let's see if we can get through some of this. I'm gonna use my snipping tool, and I'm going to cut their little timeline thing here. Let's do a better one because I don't want the boxes from the top. We're gonna cut that, and then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the home tab. We are going to create a new slide, brand spanking new one. And look at this. See, they tried to slap all this extra content in there, didn't quite work out. What we need to do now is add some content boxes to our slide design master. So I'm gonna select view, go to slide master, and let's see, we can either set up our own custom one. Ooh, they got 2 different ones in here. Let's go ahead and just, whoops. We're going to create our own. I'm going to right click this basic one and do duplicate layout, just so this is all for me. Now, I already forgot how much content was on there. Let's close this and go back. So I'm actually going to screenshot this whole thing just so I have it in view on my other screen here. Yeah, basically, I mean, this is tough. We really got to do a lot of work here to make this accessible within PowerPoint. Let's go back into our slide master. So this is like a little above and beyond. We really have to do some love here to our theme. So first things first, we kind of want to try to recreate this stuff right here. And the best way that we can do that is by putting in these 6 text boxes. So we're going to do insert placeholder content, and we'll drag our little box. We're actually going to move this other one so it's out of the way, and then go back to slide master. Oh, I think if I just do insert text, what I don't want is all of that extra stuff it's putting in there, but I guess that's really my own. So we need 6 of them. And I think we can, oh, you know what? I think we could actually just copy and paste the other one. Let's try to copy and paste this one. So we got that one. We're gonna do another one. Do you see the downfall to not using a slide design theme? All right, oh, what is this one? I probably messed up my reading order, but here we are. So we've got the 6 text boxes, and then, let's see. Here's part of the trouble. I kind of have to go back and forth between these things. And now what I need to do is, again, I'm trying to insert this timeline. We'll go ahead and copy it, and then we want to go back to view, slide master, go to our slide that we're editing, and we're just going to paste this timeline in here. Now what's tricky is these dates are not going to get read in their current state. So what we actually need to do is probably put the arrow in instead. So we'll do insert shape, and we'll put this arrow in like that. And then what we're going to do is we need to put this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more little text boxes. Now this is going to be tricky, and we're definitely going to have to fix the reading order on this. I'm just going to put in the text 1991 and then resize the box. And then we'll make it bold, and I'll decrease the font. All right, so I'm doing my best here to sort of recreate this, right? I'm going to take 1991, I'm going to copy and paste. And this is all within the theme master. We've got 2014. We'll move that content box up here. We've got 2014, 2018. We'll move that down here. We've got 2018 to 2021. And then we've got April 2022, be about here. And then our last one will be 30 November 2022. Again, this is why you want to use your theme, so you don't have to go and create all this content. But this is like a good example of what not to do. So, all right, here's all our boxes. Let's go ahead and delete that image. So now we've got like the placeholders. All right, so let's save the file, and then I'm going to go back to slide master, close master view, and here's what we're gonna do. On this blank slide, I'm gonna change my layout to this title and content, this custom slide design theme that I set up. And we're gonna try to get all this text in here. Matter of fact, I wonder if we could just apply the layout. It's probably gonna butcher it, but now we can at least, like, I can cut that content, paste it into my box behind it. Yeah, all of these are entered as text boxes, which is really unfortunate. Take that one, and then, whoops, that's where it gets tricky. I'm gonna paste in here. And then we're gonna take this one, I'm gonna paste in here. Take this one, we're gonna cut it, paste over here. We're gonna take this one, cut it, and move our group of objects out of the way. Paste that there. Take this and paste that there. Now I'm gonna delete this whole thing. Okay. Now we can play with the formatting. We don't necessarily need the bullets here, but what I want to show you is look at all the content here. It's in our outline view. So that's our like low-level test that the content is like accessible. Oh, that's interesting. So because I basically just put default text into the theme when I had done it that way by typing in all the letters. So I actually need to put the text in there again. That's my 2014 through 2018, 2018 through 2021, April 2022, and 30 November 20. But you can see the pain here, right? Now, I'm not going to spend all the time making this pretty, but let's go ahead and open up the reading order panel. And now we need to like do all this. So we've got the text placeholder, and then we need to find, wait, is 1991 first? Yeah, so we need to find 1991. Move that bad boy up there. So we've got title, 1991, and then we want the legislation text. So then we have to reorder this. So we got title, 1991, text placeholder, and then we want to go to 2014, I believe it is. Move that to the right place. Then the equity plans. So you can see where this gets kind of crazy. That's how you're going to adjust the reading order, though. So I'm not going to finish this because it's extremely time consuming, but I did want to show you how to fix it. So at least there's that. All right, let's go back to the home tab. And now we've got slide 3. Oh, this is the one. So I'm going to delete slide 3. We've got slide 3 with our title and our list, but it's not really using a list. Also, what is that? Why is that up there? I'm going to delete that. And then, yeah, all of this is not in a bulleted list, so we need to put it in one. Okay, so we need to backspace, tab over. Now it's in a list. It looks like the list is like kind of right, but somehow it's wrong. I don't know. I'm just going to reformat it. There we go. So it's a little bit better. All right, let's take a look at slide 4. All right, so same idea here. We're missing these text boxes would need to be fixed using the slide design theme. And then this table's bad. It's real bad. Yeah, this should be recreated using live text. So I guess we're gonna do that. So we're gonna insert a table. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns and 5 rows. 7, whoops. Let's try that again. I accidentally misclicked. Let's do insert table. We got 7 by 5 and there we go. Now, you know what's fun about images of tables? This is like a heck of bad failure. We need to retype it. I know what you're thinking. Welcome to my life as the accessibility guy. It's not all glory, you know? Sometimes there's a lot of pain. Registered in app term, and then take rate. Did I do too many? Sometimes when I talk and type at the same time, I mess things up. So let's delete that column. Whoa, what the heck? Okay, now we gotta retype the other stuff. Because it's an image of a table. All bad. We've got 2564, 2192, 85.5%. Then we got, is that a comma? 1206. And what's interesting about the table also, that the image of the table, it also fails color contrast requirements. So it's just so bad. All right, I realize that this is gonna take an inordinate amount of time to do this. So I'm not gonna do all of it. Sorry to let you down, folks. I can do it. We're gonna delete the rows, but this is a video series, and yeah, what we need to do is also make sure that we apply the correct table design theme, because right now I believe that white is going to fail color contrast requirements. So I'm going to apply our basic table accessibility to this by selecting the table. We can go to table design, and we're going to choose a theme, or a table style, excuse me, and I have header row, and that's it. I'm not doing first column. I'm just not going to. And now what we would want to do is the same thing for this table down here. But it's just going to take a very long time. So I'm not going to. We're going to say equity gaps for Black or African American. And again, this should be live text, but I'm gonna leave it as an image, even though it breaks all the rules just to save time. I'm not expecting you all to save time. I'm saving time because I'm a content creator for YouTube, not creating inaccessible content. So, and as you can see, we don't have any content in the outline view. So let's keep going. Again, this table really should be live data, and it's hard to see. It's tiny. I can't really read it very well. It definitely fails color contrast with this gray. And we don't even have a title in here. We just have an inserted text box that is also painful. We need a title here. But if I type one like this, improve cultural awareness, it makes it challenging because it's kind of overriding our text. But there is something we could do. We need to go to our arrange panel. Oops. And in the search bar, I'm just doing arrange. Display this selection pane. We have title, and I can just hide it. And so now it's hidden. Oh, this makes sense. Google Shapes. So I just learned something. This presentation was done in Google Docs. It was downloaded as a PowerPoint file, and then it was converted over to PDF. So there's a lot of breaking of best practices here. If they would have designed this first in PowerPoint, probably could have eliminated like 99% of the problems that we're seeing here. That's what these Google Shape elements represent. That's really the major problem here. Let's keep going. Again, I could continue making this document accessible in PowerPoint, but I want to make sure I'm showing all of the different things here. So yeah, lots of problems in it. Slides that are missing titles, like this one again. Attained the vision for success, definition of completion within 3 years. That should be what the title is, but you know, it's not. So I'm gonna hide it. Let's see if there are any more unique issues in here that we can try to adjust. Definitely like some stuff, but I actually still want to honor the episode and go and take this into PDF. So let's save the file and let's just run the accessibility checker just for funsies. We'll do file, info, and check for issues, check accessibility. And yeah, I mean, here we go. This is the problem with using Google. So all these different shapes in here, like there's a phantom one here. I'm just gonna hit delete. Can I just delete this? I'll mark it as decorative. Most of these will be marked as decorative. Oh yeah, this is just a plain text box in the back. Oh goodness, delete. All right, this one actually is an image, so we'll add a description. This will be KCCD equal employment opportunity plan. Go back to the accessibility checker. Oh my gosh, there is so much missing alt text. So I'm just gonna go through all these. Pretty much all of them are gonna be marked as decorative because it's basically the fun shapes that are in here. Because they weren't designed with accessibility in mind. It's just like, they're just plopped in there. Plan has been evolving. So this one is an image of text. We would want changes in design, and then we would want everything to be typed out. So that's the rules when you have images of text, is that you type everything in the alt text. But I'm just gonna keep it brief and say student equity plan 2.0 2022 through 2025. All right, let's go back to the accessibility checker. I'm gonna mark these decorative. Oh goodness, there's just a giant screenshot. We're gonna right click it and add alt text. Successful enrollment. Don't do this. Don't do this. Just don't put in a giant screenshot of an image of text. This is completely inaccessible. Let's keep going. I am gonna give it alt text, but you know what? I'm gonna mark these other ones as decorative because all of this would need to be recreated in PowerPoint. This is a failure big time for using images of text in this way. And I'm not gonna rekey all of this so you guys can judge my terrible typing skills, but instead we're just gonna try to get through this in an attempt to take this over to PDF. All right, missing slide title. Oh, this is gonna fail color contrast too. Slide 11, we're going to, so we have these options to add a hidden slide title, add a slide title, or set a slide title. In this specific example, I'm gonna set this as the slide title. And we'll edit this one edit slide title, and it takes me over here. So this will be successful enrollment. Slide 18. Again, this is like, it's overlaying it because it's just the image. And then some of these actually have text boxes inlaid on top of the content. So I'm adding hidden slide titles so that they're off the screen, but they're still going to be read by a screen reader. All right, and then we have the reading order is off. That's something we're going to have to fix manually. Basically, you have to go into verify object order, and then you have to move all of these items into the correct location, and then you have to go in the arrange panel and do it in reverse order. And when those two things match, you will get a passing check reading order option here. Duplicate slide title. Yup, this one we'll throw a 2 on. Let's get rid of that. And then there's a whole bunch of auto-generated accessibility, or alt text, I mean. We'll mark that as decorative. So we got to go through all of these intelligent services. I don't want to approve the description, but it's going to make me click back and forth 400 times. So we're going to mark these as decorative. And then again, we would need to put alt text on all of these images. For some reason, though, it's interesting that the accessibility report is like making me validate the descriptions versus giving me the ability to add them. So I'm going to leave them blank because we can do that in PDF. All right. So there's a lot of pain and suffering in that PowerPoint, and it's not anywhere close to being accessible, but we're going to take it over to PDF now. So to do that, I'm going to select my Acrobat tab, and then I'm going to select Create PDF, and it's going to prompt me to save the file. We're going to overwrite the other one. All right, now we have the PDF, and I cut like a whole bunch of corners. I didn't, that was all done in one little recording. So what you just watched was all done in one shot, and I cut a lot of corners, and it took a long time. We have the PDF though, so let's dive right in. Let's open up the tags panel, and at least we have our content in a document tag. We now have our section tags. So somehow this got put into a list item. Why are all of these in list items? That's fun. Am I crazy? I must be crazy. I don't understand why these are all in, all of them. All of them are in list items. Let me go back to the PowerPoint, because that's gonna hurt my brain. I don't have the list items selected from the paragraph tab. Maybe there's a bug. Acrobat has been acting pretty funny. Let's select the Acrobat tab and then select preferences. We've got high quality print, create bookmarks, add links, mark PDF UA, preserve slide transition. It looks pretty good, our settings do. Object level compression tags, general, interesting. Maybe I've just been creating too much content today, but I have no idea why those are coming as list items. It kind of is making me laugh. Usually I would just take this content out, but why is it? So, all right, we're gonna auto tag it instead. So sometimes when you convert, doesn't work. So I did all that work in PowerPoint for nothing. Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. We're gonna select prepare for accessibility, and then we're gonna do automatically tag PDF, and it's gonna overwrite all that tag structure in there. The auto tagger strikes again. It looks pretty good. We got this random figure tag. Oh lordy, did it tagged these paths. So let's artifact them. This extra content that comes from Google, we're gonna right click it, change tag to artifact, and select OK. That's gonna remove it from my tags panel, which is an important step. We then have our H1 tag. Thank goodness, we got something in there. Let's right click this figure tag and verify the alt text. We're gonna select properties, and in the alt text for images spot, there is nothing. So this will be Cerro Coso logo, and select close. All right, then we got a H2, and then we've got an aside, P tags, and this was all put into a table. All right, so this was like the content that I kind of messed up. But if I would have done the original file, it would have been all bad also. So I'm going to cut all of these P tags out, and we're gonna attempt to put them in the right order. Control X, moving all of that content out of the table tag because it doesn't need to be in a table, and pasting. And then I'm going back to my table tag and hit delete. And then I need to reorder this content. So I would do that by simply cutting and pasting. So 1991 is first. I'm gonna find it. There it is, Control X. We're gonna go to the top under our H2 and hit paste. So 1991, then we need to find legislation. Go back to the top using my arrow keys, clackety clackety clack. Let's go to 2014. All right, I am gonna speed run through this and just pretend that we did it. Okay, good job, Sean. The reading order is failing on that, but again, I want to get through this whole document and we got 27 pages. So I'm gonna right click this figure tag, select properties. And this doesn't add any extra value, so I'm actually going to artifact it. So I'm gonna expand the parent container, right click the image child tag, and we're gonna change that bad boy to an artifact and delete the parent figure tag. We've got H2, P tag, a list item with a nested list. That looks pretty good. That's because of all that work I did in PowerPoint. We've got the H2 tag, H3 tag, and then a table with a table row and table headers. Looks good. Then we have these figure tags that are missing probably alt text, but we'll add that through the accessibility checker later. P tag, interesting, list tag, H3, figure, H2PL. A lot of these figure tags in here could be marked as decorative. We'll mark both of these right now. I'm gonna select both of those objects, the path and the image. Change tag to artifact, select page, okay, delete the tag, H2 list, H3 figure, H2 list. All right, so this isn't terrible. All I'm doing right now is like spot checking the tags panel to make sure that all of our content is in. This one's gonna need a little bit of love because it has some text in here, but man, this slide is brutal. All right, figure, list tag. We've got our H2 content, and then it looks like that image was marked decorative. So I've got H2, and then all that content in the back was marked decorative. H2 list, H3 list, H2 list, figure tag, figure. So in cases like this where we have a figure and some text, we need to open up the fix reading order tool option, and then we're gonna simply drag a box around fix plan timeline, and we'll mark that as a heading level 2. That will then pull that content out of that figure tag, and now we can actually mark it. We can artifact this path tag. Right click, change tag to artifact, select page, okay, list, H2, lots of content in here, blah, 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 blah. This looks good. All right, so we validated the tags panel. It's start. We got it started. Before I move on, let's go ahead and set our document properties. I'm gonna select menu, select document properties. We've got a title, we've got an author. I'm gonna say the accessibility guy. This is an equity plan. Equity plan, select okay. Let's go ahead and save the file. And normally I don't like to check for accessibility at this step, but it's gonna help us set all of the alt text. So there's a couple different things we could do. We could do check for accessibility, but I'm gonna do add alt text. So it's gonna detect all the figures and it's gonna walk us through all of them. So this one looks good. We can hit the next arrow. And just for sake of demo, I'm marking all of these other ones decorative. The reality is they shouldn't be images to begin with. They should be live text. So I'm marking them decorative to save some time. But this is definitely a failure for every accessibility standard. In design, we're gonna mark as decorative, 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 and they're just screenshots of text. So they're already inaccessible, mark them decorative. Again, this is a demo. If this was like, if I was designing this for the college, I would have to rekey all of that information. I just want to reiterate that. All right, so we did that. Let's save the file and let's check for accessibility. We're going to hit start checking, and you know, it's not as bad as I thought. We've got a summary failed on our tables. Oh, what the heck? All right, let's do the first one. I'm gonna hit fix reading order, and then I'm gonna right click inside my table and do edit table summary, and we will put a summary. Yay, and select okay. Then this other element shouldn't be in a table, so we're gonna right click it, hit show in tags panel, and we're gonna remove this content. What the heck, why are there artifact tags? Maybe because of me marking it decorative. Any hooser, we're gonna take this content out of the table. Oh my gosh. And it like hecka nested it with a ton of table data tags for some very bizarre. All right, so I'm cutting and pasting those two things out. Now I could delete that table tag. So that's much better. How did I miss that before? I guess these other ones, we're gonna go ahead and artifact. Let's right click them, change tag to artifact, select page. Now we can delete these artifact tags. Oh, I see. It's because I marked them decorative. Adobe, you need some help. When I mark content decorative, that does not mean to put it in an artifact placeholder, because this is going to be a failure under PDF UA accessibility standards. We don't want this artifact tag in here. If something is artifacted properly, it's not going to show up in the tags panel at all. That's the whole point. And we've got H2 list, and it looks like, oh yeah, this H2 got nested, so we're going to move that H2 tag out so we have our list tag. All right, perfect. I'm just going to do a brief scan to see if there's any more artifact tags. All right, we look fine in here. Let's go back to the accessibility checker, right click this summary thing and do check again. We passed that one. All right, looks like we've got LBL body failure. Let's right click it, show in tags panel. All right, what's the problem here? That's strange. We've got the LBL and L body nested inside of a reference tag when it should be the other way. So our reference tag should be nested in the L body, not the other way around. I suspect that will fix that problem. Right click, check again. All right, so we've got a passing Adobe Acrobat report. Let's see, how much energy do I have? Do I want to drop this bad boy into the pack checker? I guess I do. Let's launch the Pack 2024 tool and move this equity plan in there. Uh-oh, we got fonts, structure elements. It's gonna be a long night, folks. All right, let's see what we can do. Results in detail, fonts. Fonts not embedded. All right, that's easy. Let's just do one at a time. Let's do font not embedded. I'm going to open up my pre-flight menu under print production, pre-flight, and under my Acrobat Pro DC 2015 profile, I'm gonna select this single wrench, this little wrench icon. And in the find window, I'm going to type in font. And in here, we have the option embed missing fonts. We're gonna select fix, select save, and select yes. All right. And it says embedded missing fonts, one object. That means it did it. Let's go back to the pack tool. We're just gonna do one at a time. One at a time. All right, structural elements. Let's see what the problem is. Table header cell has no associated what? All right, our table header cell has no associated subcells. We need to set the scope. So let's find that table tag. Oh yeah, and as of the recording of this video, there's currently a bug in Acrobat that I can't scroll inside my tags panel. As if doing this work wasn't hard enough, Adobe's like, hey, you want to play on expert level? All right, prepare for accessibility, fix reading order, right click the table, table editor. We're gonna select all these top level cells. I'm holding my shift key while I'm clicking so they're all selected. We're gonna right click, hit table cell properties, and right now the header cell scope is set to none. Let's set it to column, select OK, that will fix that. Let's go back to the pack tool, close that little window, and let's scan it again. Making progress. Structure tree, results in detail, possible inappropriate use of a span tag. Is that because it's in the aside? All right, let's go to our tags panel. What? How did these show up again? Didn't I? Am I crazy? Thought I fixed all these artifacts. Maybe there's just more of them. Okay, I must be crazy. We need to get this content actually artifacted, and then we'll change this tag to a heading level 2. That's probably why there's so many errors. Again, here's another one. We're gonna change tag to artifact because that's what we're doing. Let's just do this one, an artifact. This document is a nightmare. Got lots of content. So artifacts. I feel like I want to save the document again because things are starting to get buggy. I can feel it. My mouse is moving slow. See what I mean? All right, I'm gonna close all this accessibility stuff right now because Acrobat is getting a little unhappy. I can feel it. All right, let's try to artifact these again. I'm gonna select both, change tag to artifact, select page. There we go. Now I can delete the blank artifact tags. I don't even remember what I was in here for. Oh yeah, the aside content. It said inappropriate use of a span tag. Here we go. Let's just move all of this content out of the aside tag. And then, did it say these were in spans? Interesting. All right, let's save it and test it again because I done confused myself. All right, we still got structure tree, span, H2. So I didn't fix any of this. All right, Let's go back to the document, up to page 2. Apparently there's a span tag in here somewhere, so I'm just gonna expand all of these. Oh, it's the hyphen. Rookie move, Sean. Rookie move. Sometimes when you use hyphens, it will put them in a span tag. Oh, look, the arrow keys are also not working in the container elements, and I can't scroll. Expert level initiated. Right, we need to get this content out of the span tags. But also, just side note, I don't know why this is a problem. It shouldn't be a problem that I have span tags inside of my p tags. It doesn't make any sense. That's not like a failure. I think it was on page 25 was the other random one, and it was like over here. Oh yeah, look at all those spans. Why are they in a span? Couldn't tell you. We're going to open them all though, and we're gonna select them one at a time and hold my control key because I want all of this stuff out of the span. Looks like I grabbed a little extra content. It's actually gonna be okay though because, wait a second, my brain's getting gooey. Let's move the content out of the span tag. We'll just do it. So I'm clicking and dragging and then deleting the span. Click, drag, delete, span. Click, drag, delete, span. I'm gonna get that on a bumper sticker. For any of you who are actually still watching this video, there's probably one of you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. All right. I think that was that problem. Let's test it, save it, pack, close, redo. Hey, we're getting close. Structure tree and role mapping and all and on and on and on. All right, structure tree. Where the heck? Did I miss one? More on page 2. Goodness. All right, let's go back to page 2. The never-ending remediation of my life. Let's just expand everything. Aha, found you. Got these stinky span tags in here, ruining my life one day at a time, you know? It's a good thing I like clicking, or else this job would be really hard. I don't love clicking. My hand's tired. Remediation is difficult. All right, that's gotta be all of them. It's gotta be. All right, let's test it again. Get real comfortable with the pack tool. People wonder why I'm good at this, and then I show them videos like this. Role mapping. All right, what's the dealio there? We got something funky in here. Non-standard, page 13, the aside tag. I knew that was gonna cause trouble. Here it is. So it doesn't want us to have this aside tag. So I'm gonna take the contents of it, cut and paste them outside of the aside tag and delete the aside tag. Let's go back to the pack checker and alternate descriptions for annotations and metadata. Awesome, I know how to fix those. So we are going to go to all tools, print production. We're going to go to pre-flight, select the single wrench element, and we're gonna type in annotation. And we want this option, create content entry for link annotations. Select fix, select save, select yes, boom shakalaka. Let's do it again, pre-flight. Instead of anno, we're gonna do UA for universal accessibility. And we're gonna set PDF UA1 entry, select fix, select save, select yes, and we did that. And now let's test it. And if I get this right, you all owe me a subscribe hit and a share on social media. Ha, gotcha. All right, we still got some WCAG errors. It's gonna be font. Yeah, it's all font. Color contrast. But I'm not gonna fix that right now. So I would need to go back through and test all of those elements. There were clearly spots where it's failing. I think it's failing even right here on this slide 13, this black on the deep gray. So we would need to fix those elements. But today I'm just going for PDF UA, and that's that. So if you can believe it, I did that all in one take. And if you made it to the very end, hit that subscribe button for me. And I gotta be honest, this document sucked. I normally give a rating out of 1 to 10, but I mean, can I give negative points? This thing is bad. It went from Google to PowerPoint to PDF for no reason. There's no accessibility in there. It breaks multiple best practices for images of text, color contrast, images of tables, no slide titles, just real bad. So yeah, I'm gonna give this an accessibility guy score of -1 out of 10. You could do better, got this. And if you wanna find out how I can help you get accessible, take a look at the link in the description of this video. And as always, I can be your personal accessibility expert. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.